So thanks again for being here today. My guest is Philip Bonney, and you do go by Phil, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we can call you Phil, but Phil is here with Dudley Resources, and he's going to talk to us a little bit about what's going on in the world of auctioning real estate. I mean, that's what this is really all about, what they do over there. That's their forte. So, again, thanks, Phil, for being here. Appreciate you. Don't want to take too much of your time, so we're going to jump right into it. Your background includes military service, government work, even crypto trading. How did this path eventually lead you to the auction business, basically?
Luck and hard work. That's what I'll say. I mean, I
All
was
right.
on the commercial side before I got into the auction world. And I put together a development project in downtown Richmond. It was a mixed use tax credit, 185 unit apartment complex. This was in the early days of COVID. We knocked it out of the park. We hit a home run. And then I realized that this isn't necessarily what I wanted to do. So I put out a couple resumes. I met my partner, Tim, and he taught me what the auction method of selling real estate was really like. I mean, I could probably, in the beginning, the amount of knowledge I had about the auction world was what I learned in AP history class in high school about the Depression era auctions, the farms and the banks and all of that. But when I learned what the auction method was truly about, I was hooked.
Mm, mm, And what about it was so appealing to you?
The fact that we deal in any type of real estate and we can sell it anywhere in the United States to anyone in the world because everything is done online.
Okay. So it just opens up the market for you a little bit and gives you
Absolutely.
greater opportunity for success ultimately.
For sure.
Okay,
There's
cool.
no limit
Cool.
to what we're able to do.
Okay. Most people think that auctions are just for foreclosures and distressed properties, right? That's the
Sure.
common belief right now. How has the auction model evolved for modern real estate sales?
Well, when the world today is going more high tech, what the method of selling in traditional real estate, it needed to expand. With
Huh.
everything going on online, the ability of finding different assets and the buyers for that assets, the pool just grew bigger and bigger. I mean, I've sold stuff in West Virginia to buyers in Alaska. I mean, I've sold stuff in North Carolina to buyers in Utah. The fact that everything is done online, it just opens up different avenues of qualified buyers. It's
Gotcha.
no
Again, yep.
longer just from putting it in the local MLS, and that's where your buyer is going to be coming from. And in today's markets, you really need to be able to maximize the exposure for your most prized asset because the buyer could be coming from anywhere. So that's what we're doing here is we're taking something that used to be a very limited niche market and we have opened it up to the world.
Interesting. Wow. And so ultimately, they can't do business with you if they don't know that you exist. And
Exactly.
when you're working in that local niche, you're
Did I lose you?
I purchased a Mercedes once at an online auction, sight unseen. I'd never even gotten the thing before, but it was a sexy car and I couldn't help myself, so I bought it. It
Right.
sits in my garage right now as we speak. Anyway, All right, cool. That's great insight. So people often say that the marketplace kind of determines the true value of an asset, of a piece of property. Why do auctions sometimes produce a higher value than traditional real estate listings?
Sure. Well,
What
that's
do you
easy.
think?
Excitement. So the auction method of selling real estate, it can be boiled down into two reasons of why it just works. One is the level of marketing that we take all of our clients' assets through. And then when you're coming down to the end hour, the end minute of the auction, that's when human nature is going to take over. And human nature is, I want to win, I want to be the best. When you take in a house and you've expanded it and taken it through a very aggressive, very comprehensive nationwide marketing campaign with five MLSs, 105 third party sites, all the social media campaigns, the SEO marketing, the geo targeting, advertisements in newspapers online, all of that, that is going to attract the buyers. Now, I'm not going to say that every one of the people who is going to see it is going to bid on the asset, but when you have 10, 15, 20, 30 people wanting this asset and the bidding price is going up by 1,000, 2,000, maybe 5K, that's not going to necessarily break the bank. But every one of those bids, it adds up.
Right, right.
And then
It's
during the
it,
whole
it,
time, there's a countdown timer. So all the bidders know the exact time and date that this auction is going to end.
Interesting. And so people ultimately, it's that whole thing of just not wanting to lose. And so they forget or they put aside their budget if they, if you know what I'm saying, because they want to win and they find that extra amount of money some way, somehow to close the deal because they want to win.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that happens a little bit in traditional real estate listing. If, I mean, we've got, oh, it's a cycle and we go through it at times. And, yes, there's a time when it advantages towards the seller, sometimes advantages towards the buyer.
Mhm.
And when the advantage is towards the seller, they get multiple offers. And that's basically a little bit of the bidding process, but not as immediate as how you guys do it. Is that
Sure.
fair?
Well, no, 100%. So, like me personally, in the early days of COVID, especially here in the Richmond markets, I was trying to buy a house. And every time I went to go put an offer in the house, and I'm in real estate, so I understand all of this. And every house in the West End, the Short Pump area of Richmond, 100K over asking price, no inspections, no appraisals. And so no one ever had any idea of how much more they could have offered to secure that asset. And I had just had a kid, and I wasn't gonna not do an inspection. It's like no matter how much I want to buy that house, you got to be smart about it. So what we do is we get all the inspections, all the appraisals, site work, boring and sec reports, wells, septic, all of that. And we put it all together in a comprehensive due diligence package so everyone knows everything about the house. They know what they are bidding on. They have ample time to come in and check out the house, get tours, get realtors involved. What we're doing is we're elevating the way to buy real estate because everyone is on an even keel and everyone
Mhm.
is privy to the same amount of information.
So this is a little aside. As I listen to you, and I'm just wondering, how does this work? So you got a property. Property's gonna, it ends up selling for, let's say, 500 grand. typically if there was a realtor involved, if this was a listing, that there'd be some sort of 5, 6, 7, 6% commission that gets split by the agents involved. But if you're gonna if that buyer is gonna go directly to your site and in that auction is able to obtain that property all by themselves, where does the sit where does the commission go? Is there a commit? Are you guys the only ones making the commission now? Every
Sure.
other realtor is left out of the loop? Because I think that
Absolutely.
would
Absolutely.
that
I
so you're
I
telling me that you're not making any friends in the industry as far as other realtors. Is that what
Well,
you're
I
trying to
make
say?
friends on a daily basis. I work with realtors on a daily basis. The benefits of what we do is that for all of my clients, the house is sold at their price with their wants and with their terms. Okay. The way that it works is that we do not charge the seller anything. It is literally as free as selling real estate can possibly be
How can
because
that be?
because we charge the buyer a 10% buyer's premium.
Premium.
Mhm.
Wow.
Now, this
Wow.
premium, if they have an agent, it pays them as well. It covers our fees, our marketing expenses. So I'm
Okay,
not
so
cutting any realtors out. What I'm doing is I'm developing a network of agents who one, it's the easiest closing they've ever had because one, they don't have to write any
all
sort of offers.
yeah,
We
all the
have
due
all of
diligence
that.
has already been done. You guys
Everything is
hand it to them in a
already
single
done.
package. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it
So
probably makes the whole process a little bit faster too,
it
wouldn't it?
streamlines the entire process because you're not dealing with endless negotiations. You're not dealing with a 3 month closing. Maximum, maximum, maximum. Our closings are 45 days for our finance friendly auctions because
Okay,
everything
good.
is
And
already done.
thanks for bringing that up because that's going to be my next question. But go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt.
It's fine. So, what the auction method does, one, it gets the assets sold at true market value
Okay.
because the market is going to generate what it's worth. Whereas a
Do you
realtor,
set do you set a minimum?
absolutely, all of my
Okay.
clients have minimum reserves.
And that's what they're just willing to take for it. If if everything goes wrong, they will just take this and they'll be happy with it. And it
No,
does, and again, it
it's
doesn't
not
cost
an
them anything
absolute
to
auction.
list.
It's not an absolute auction. It's subject to seller confirmation. And what that means is when they have
Okay.
a minimum rate reserve, that is a number that is just known to them and myself. And this number, it's based on market comps, the
Sure.
economics of everything that's going on, any defects of the house, all the work that it potentially could need. So for instance, if this house that all the market is saying that, and I run about three to four sets of comps on every one of my clients' assets. So if this house, the market is saying it'll bring 300K, and my
Okay.
clients say, "Hey, I want $1 million for this house," then I probably will not take the deal just because there's nothing I'm going to be able to do outside of luck that is going to bring what they're looking for. So if their idea of what they're looking to net based on paying no realtor commissions, the only thing they're going to be paying is closing costs, then I know for a fact that this house is going to bring this. Now, they have a minimum reserve of 300K. Wonderful. If the house brings 300K, plus the 10%, then great. They're gonna sell because it's on the contract. Now let's say the house brings 295, okay? At the end of the auction, I'm gonna bring this offer to my clients and they have full control over their sale. They have the ability to accept this right out. They could reject it because it's 5K less than what they're looking for. Or they have the ability of going back to the high bidder and countering it.
Wow.
So
It's really
there's
it's
no
full
risk.
service.
It's full service, of course. So
Yeah.
there's no risk, there's no out of pocket expenses, and their most prized possession, their most prized assets is sold with their terms, their wants, their wishes. We just streamline the entire process.
And you can basically then work with, let me ask you this before I assume. So, say I'm a guy in Boise, Idaho. That's where I am right now.
Hmm.
And I want to sell my property through the auction strategy. And there isn't anybody around here that can handle that for me. Would I be able to work with you, even though you're on the East Coast? Can you run that auction for me? Or are you
Absolute.
only selling your own? So as well as your market for buyers being open to basically a worldwide market, you can also sell. Are you licensed? I mean, would you have to have a license in Boise or in Idaho in order to offer my property on your site and you're originating out of the East Coast? Is
Sure.
that possible?
Absolutely. And we do it on a daily basis. The reason
No
why,
kidding.
as we are licensed auctioneers and real estate brokers, we are a member of the National Auctioneers Association. So, with that being said, we have auctioneers and auctioneers with licenses and brokerage licenses in every state. So we can run virtual auctions in any state by partnering with one of our local affiliates there.
Got it. Got it. Wow. I told you I really was. I wasn't BSing you. I was really interested in having this conversation with you because I knew I needed to know more. But anyway, I appreciate you. So let's keep it moving because I know we both got things to do today. Okay, so your company talks about finance friendly auctions.
Mhm.
And traditionally, auctions require cash buyers. We all know that. Now, what's changed and how does it open the door for more buyers, in your opinion?
Well, our buyer pool is not limited. So we have all the conventional buyers, we have all the flippers, the renovators, but we also have all the families, the users. And each one of these different types of buyers, they look at buying real estate through a different lens. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you're talking about like a single family, maybe it's a veteran that wants to use a VA loan. Traditionally, you could not do that with an auction because typically auctions sold as is where is it is what it is. What
Yeah.
the finance friendly auction is doing, one, you don't need any cash at the day of the auction. Okay. We have made available all the reports, the appraisals, the inspections. So if I'm running it as a finance friendly auction, I know for a fact that there are going to be no type of lender required repairs needed. Now, heaven forbid, the lender comes in. We have a VA buyer. He's the winning bidder. He's signed the contract. My client has signed the contract. Now the lender is going to want to come in and do inspections and all of that. If anything were to come back that this is a lender required repair, my clients are obligated to get that done. Now, I'm not talking about that they don't like the color of the cabinets or anything, but if there's something like foundation issues or
Right.
or
Right.
The hot water
The
heater.
water heater doesn't
That.
work. Yeah.
Exactly. Things like that happens, then my clients will get that taken care of. Now, if they say, "Hey, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to do any sort of repairs." I'll say that's fine. I refund the buyer's escrow deposit, and then I offer it up to the backup bidder. Or we can re-auction it or do 10 other different things to get their assets sold. Now,
Got it.
they somehow managed to screw up their debt to income ratio because during the closing they decided to buy a car. Okay? It happens. Not
Right.
the smartest
Yeah.
move, but it does. Now their debt to income rate ratio is out of whack. So now, I'm sorry, now you can't qualify to buy this house.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. So I noticed when I was looking at your website, it seemed like there was some requirement there to either, it was all around $25,000 having, in order to place a bid, you had to, and maybe that was just because it was a particular
The
type
one
of
that you're
property that was
talking
being
about,
auctioned.
that's a trustee sale. That was a foreclosure on a front home in Williamsburg.
Yeah. Beautiful home.
Yeah, that's a legal sale. So those are a little bit different than 90% of everything that we touch. When someone registers for my auction, it's free to register. It's free to place your bids. When you're going through the registration process, it's going to ask you for your information. It's going to ask you for a credit card. Now, we are going to check to make sure that your credit card can be charged. The escrow deposit, typically it's $2,500 to 5K depending on the asset. But if you're not the winning bidder, we're not going to charge your credit card. Okay.
I see. I see.
In one of our traditional auctions, at the fall of the hammer, we'll charge the escrow deposit. Then they have 3 business days to get the remaining balance of the 10% in, and then the whole closing must be done in 30 days. For one of my finance friendly auctions, we charge the escrow deposit to the credit card, and then everything else can be paid at closing. So you can literally finance the entirety of the purchase price plus the 10% into the end of the closing. No out-of-pocket
Gotcha.
expenses.
That's unbelievable. And off the record, just between you and me, well, how much is that property worth, that beautiful house on the side of the lake there that I looked at?
Well, I mean, I
What's
can tell you, a house a couple doors down, identical lot. They bought it for $1 million and then they tore down the house. So, yeah.
so this one here, it's got to be at least $1 million then, huh?
I suspect.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. I had no idea. Okay, so getting back to finance friendly real quick. So do you provide the lenders
I
or
can.
okay. Is that typically the program or do you expect
No,
a buyer
anyone
to
can
have their own?
use any sort of lender they want. They can use whichever closing company they want. All of that is fine. If they are looking, if they have absolutely no idea of what lender they want to work with, I have about five that I know for a fact they have worked with auctions but before, so they understand the nuances and the typical time constraints.
Okay. Okay. And those are local lenders or national lenders typically that
National,
you work with?
sure.
National?
Oh yeah.
Okay, awesome. Okay, let's jump ahead a little bit. Now, for people who are interested in getting into the real estate auction industry, or not industry, but the world as a buyer, what are some of the mistakes the first time buyer is going to make? What have you seen?
They do not
First time bidder, not buyer, bidder. Sorry.
I would say the biggest mistake that people make is buying sight unseen. Now, I can put together the most epic due diligence packet in the history of real estate sales, but unless you really get eyes on it, you're not going to know the flow of the house or that there's no bathroom in the main area of the house. So I would say the biggest thing that you're going to want to do is to know what you're going to buy. Go
Okay, but what
through the reports.
Okay, but with all due respect, I mean, that seems a little bit counterintuitive to me because you do auctions and you do online auctions, and the auction is open to anyone around the world. So, for those folks located in Virginia or whatever, and you happen to have a house for sale there, a lot easier. But if I was selling my property with you and somebody from Texas was interested in buying it, unless they jump on a flight, they're not going to get that opportunity. So do you guys have
No, not
do
not
you
necessarily, because what I was going to do if I would be buying a house at auction in California, I would hire a realtor to go to that house, check it out, get me on a video call, and tell me what they think of the house, of the area, of the local markets there.
yeah,
Just
that
because
was
you
going to
can't see it, it doesn't mean that you make an uneducated decision.
sure, sure.
So
I was gonna ask if it was part of your due diligence package to provide a virtual tour, as a for instance.
sure, and if you go to my website, I put together Matterports, I put together videos, professional pictures. We take all of our clients' assets and we put it in the best light possible. Like I
Right.
said, this whole thing, it revolves around transparency. So I want you to know what I know about this house.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And then you cover those costs, of course, with that buyer's premium that you're able to add to the
Mhm.
sale so that you
Exactly.
guys can, pay for stuff. I get it. Okay, let's see here. I've just got a few more. Let's go to this question here. It's technology and auctions. So Dudley talks about using AI and advanced marketing in the auction process. What role does technology play today in finding buyers and also maximizing the value of the auction?
Well,
How do you guys use AI? I guess, it's all the talk, it's all the rage now. Everybody's talking about it, but people are still confused because it's moving so quickly. How are you guys using that?
well, we're doing a lot of SEO marketing utilizing AI to geo-target specific buyers groups. And then we're really utilizing AI to put together comprehensive marketing campaigns.
Okay. Like, what are you talking about? Like cold outreach, or do you guys use social media to get your word out there?
Of
What do you
course, I
mean?
mean, social media is a great thing. I mean, technology and the internet has really opened up a whole lot of different avenues of approach because when you put together social media marketing campaigns, I mean, you can make them go as big as possible. I mean, it just how much money do you want to spend?
Exactly. Exactly.
And so because we know that we're going to be getting this 10% buyer's fee, it allows us to put together very expensive marketing campaigns through all the LinkedIn, the social media, the Facebook, the Instagram, the TikToks. I mean, how did you find out about me? LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, do you guys have your own department? I noticed that there is, I think, what, four or five partners or members over there.
We have about 4 or 5 partners, and then we have an award-winning marketing team who
Okay,
they
great. So you handle
really.
it all in-house.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, killer, killer. That's all awesome.
Proprietary secrets, my friend.
Good. We'll leave it at that because they're secrets. Okay, so what we're going to talk about market trends real quick. We just got two more questions and then we're going to be done. So, as far as market trends are concerned, what trends are you seeing right now in the real estate auction market? And are there more sellers choosing the auction avenue as opposed to traditional listings? What are you seeing?
So realtors have all been taught the certain way to sell a piece of real estate. They price a house based on comps. They hope the market agrees with what they think, and then they negotiate one person at a time. The auction method, it completely flips that entire script because where
Interesting.
the realtor starts up here and then days on market, and then they start cutting the price and cutting the price and cutting the price. We grow the whole market because we start artificially low and we let the buyer decide what this house is worth. So it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. We are taking every benefit of having a traditional realtor because we are that as well, but we are lighting a fuse into it. So we can actually do things that realtors cannot do because we are known as an auction company. So what the markets today are telling me, especially in the Richmond markets, is that it is a seller's market still here because there's always people moving into the Richmond men area and supply is low. So once again, you're getting into these bidding wars, but whereas a realtor cannot control that bidding war, we can.
So interesting. And at the same time, there is that little bit of security for the seller, that
Mhm.
is,
Of
in
course.
that there is that bottom line. Even though it's only known to you and to them, they have that security knowing that, listen, no one's going to buy my house off me for 50, for 50 grand.
They're
And
not
I
going to
got to
steal
just
it.
suck it up. I mean, no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Love it. I love it. Okay. All right. Last question. The future of real estate sales. So looking 5 to 10 years ahead, do you think auctions will become the mainstream way to buy and sell real estate properties in the United States?
Absolutely. And there's not even a doubt because once again, the markets are not stuck in a certain MLS. We are in
Huh,
a global community. That's what
huh.
this is all about. With more tech, with more AI, with new avenues of approach to get assets sold, you get more people looking at this same asset.
I mean, I can't agree with you more. I mean, honestly, as I listen to all this, it's like, why wouldn't you do this?
The greatest part of my day is when I start talking with a new client and they have a $500,000 house, but they know nothing about the auction method. So the more I talk with them, the more I talk with them, you can literally see the light bulb go off in their head. And
Wow.
and every one of them tells me the same thing. Why isn't everyone doing this? And I say, because just like you didn't know about this until we started this talk.
Right, right. It's so true. I mean, I'm in that same boat. I didn't know either.
The most expensive
Uh,
things in this world are bought and sold through auctions.
is that right?
Diamonds, sports memorabilia, excuse me,
Yeah. Yep.
cars. The most expensive things in the world is sold through an auction. Why? Because the auction method, it works.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the biggest challenge then is really, in order for this to truly take hold, It's about getting the message out there
Exactly.
and educating the public that this is even an option for you.
Hmm.
Most folks, including myself, think, hey, I want to sell my house and move to a new place. I gotta give up 6% right off the top, and that's gonna piss me off.
Hmm.
As the seller.
Yep.
You know, the buyer,
And
he
it
never
should
has to
piss
pay
you
anything.
off. Why should you have to pay to sell your most prized asset? Why? That doesn't make
Preaching to the
sense.
choir. Yeah.
Because
No.
that's the way it's always been done? No, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. It doesn't work
Yeah.
that way. Just because I have an influx of money, that doesn't mean that I should be the one paying it. You
Right.
want this, you pay
Love it. I love it. I love it. So
it.
what so what are you guys doing now to to bridge that gap?
I do a lot of teaching with brokerages. I do a lot of lunch and learns, meeting with people, spending hours on phones and Zooms and answering questions. It's education. That's what I would say is the biggest thing. Because just like you said, the preconceived notion that auctions are all about distressed assets, it's bankruptcy, it's foreclosures, short
Right.
sales. That's what people have this idea about. But this is not that. This is the auction method of selling real estate. That's what it is.
Right. Right. No, that is such good stuff, Phil. I'm telling you, I have learned a lot today.
I
You've
mean,
you've
think
opened
about
my
this.
eyes too.
CoStar. Everyone knows who CoStar is, right? It's the commercial listing platform. That's where all your restaurants go, all your mixed use goes, your commercial assets. Why does CoStar have an auction platform named 10X? Why does Sotheby's have an auction platform called Concierge Auctions that only deals with $2 million plus auctions? Why? Because auctions work.
Hmm. And especially when you couple that with the whole finance friendly, I mean, it solves all problems.
It does.
Honestly, I can't think of a problem in this whole delivery system that doesn't work. I mean,
Hmm.
it's seamless, the whole thing. I swear to God, the next if and when I sell a house, I'm gonna do it with this auction thing.
If you were smart.
Yeah, exactly.
I
All
mean,
right. Hey, well,
case in point, I had this home in Virginia. I had an appraisal of a house in northern Virginia. The appraiser had a sister who owned an 87-acre farm or homestead in West Union, West Virginia. You're talking backwoods of backwoods of backwoods. I mean, it took me 6.5 hours to drive there from Richmond. This house, beautiful home, just in the middle of freaking nowhere. This house was on the market for 3.5 years. It went through realtor after realtor. They couldn't even get a showing. I got involved. I had that house sold in 35 days, and I found them a buyer in Anchorage, Alaska, who
unbelievable.
just happened to me to be moving back to the East Coast. It's my
Unbelievable.
job to solve your issues because we have the ability to figure out how to solve your problems. That's what
Got
we
it.
do. We think outside of the box to solve your issues.
I love it. How often are your auctions? How often do you do your auctions? Is it same time every week? Is it on a case by case
It's a
basis?
case by
How
case
do you do it?
basis. I mean, if you go to my website right now, we have probably I think right now we have 6 assets that we're auctioning off this month. And then I'm always getting calls and there's always new stuff coming on. So I mean, it just works. I
How do you find your sellers?
A lot of what we have is word of mouth. So in my CRM with all of our car guys, our real estate guys, our business guys, we have around I'd say around 3 million buyers and sellers in our database. And then we have another auction company in Northern Virginia called Rasmus Auctions. And we work with them and their clients if they have any real estate. So together, just from our two databases, we have around 7 million people that we do direct marketing to. And then all of my auctions, all the bidders, we market to them as well because the buyers, well, they probably have stuff to sell as well. And then once they're already and registering for this auction, I talk to every single one of the register bidders. I qualify them, I find out what they're looking for, who they are, and what they have to sell. And so from all of that, all of our marketing, it just gives me an infinite number of people to call. And once someone understands what the actual auction is and that there's no risk and it's they don't have to pay to do
Does
it,
it cost them
why would you
anything?
not have one of the top agents in Richmond? I mean, on a yearly basis, we have around 7 to 8 thousand agents in the Richmond market, and every year I'm in the top 5%.
Wow.
You know,
Doing auctions.
I know what I'm doing, and then you put all of that into this auction method, and it doesn't cost you anything to work with a top agent, and it's so with your terms, your wants, your wishes,
It's a no-brainer.
it sells itself.
Yeah, it's a no-brainer,
Hmm.
honestly. Wow. That was so interesting. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mind
That's
blown.
all I could say. Yeah, really. I, that is a lot. And man, I am smarter today because of our conversation. So thank you again. All right. Well, listen, I just wanted to end this up and say, Phil Bonney from Dudley Resources, thank you so much. What a pleasure. You are obviously an expert, an authority in this field. And so we appreciate your time.
You got it, my friend. I do appreciate it.